recording. And now I'll post the link into the chat so you guys can save the link and just send it to anybody. They can watch it at their leisure. Obviously, it's on the YouTube, so they can watch it whenever they. Okay, let's just go here. And share. Copy link. Paste. There you go. So very warm welcome to all our guests on YouTube as well as Zoom. Today I'm doing a exposure on what's happening in the banking sector in Australia and New Zealand in terms of cryptocurrency. And please thank the person who invited you to this call or to this, send you this link to YouTube, because things are going to get interesting. So on our call, we've got Denise from New Zealand, we've got Paulette as well, we've got Jacques as well, we've got some guys from Australia. So this is basically for the New Zealand and Australian market. We also have some people from South Africa. So my name is Shane, and please enjoy the video, share it with your friends, because this is very, very important information. Okay, so let me just share my screen and we will start here. So we're talking about XRP, okay? So as I said, it is, if you look at Bitcoin is number one, then you got Ethereum is number two. Tether is not a crypto, it's a stable coin. Then we've got BNB, which is the third. USDC is a stable coin. So we got XRP, which is, you could say, the fourth largest coin. And as you can see, it's up 5.70% for the week. The last 24 hours, it's up 3.91%. So there's a pump in this market. So out of 52 million different cryptos, we are working with the fourth largest crypto in the world. Okay, so Ripple, as is commonly known, is basically the company. XRP is the token. So as I was explaining, like how you got Walt Disney as the company and you got Mickey Mouse as the product. Same thing here. We got Ripple and then we've got XRP. So ladies and gentlemen, what is happening in the space of XRP? Why was it created? Why is the big run at the moment around the world with XRP? So that's what I want to dissect. But for today, I want to keep it localized to New Zealand and Australia. But if you want to research this in your own country, you're most welcome to do that, whichever country you're coming in from. Now, New Zealand, Australia, are you ready to see what is happening? So I'm going to share my screen, and some of the information, before I even share my screen, let me tell you this. I'm not sure what's your experience like being in crypto, but if you've done any crypto project from 2024 and beyond, it's a different ballgame now. Because at that point, the SEC did not recognize crypto. America did not recognize crypto. The British did not recognize crypto. The powers that be, which controls our financial system, did not recognize crypto. So every crypto project you did was either shut down by the SEC, they went after the owners, or they found a very creative way to bring those to the end. Why? Because they are competing directly with the banking system. And you know for a fact, any country that goes after the American dollar, I don't want to say anything because I don't want my YouTube to get blocked, but America tries to find democracy in those countries and overthrow them, etc. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about is very, very sensitive, but at the same time, we got to be, call a spade here. Okay, so all I want you to know that every crypto project prior to 2024 was shut down. 2024 and beyond, I'm going to show you some statistics where the banks and governments are now saying, hey, we cannot ignore this because we're moving on to the Web3 space. We're making sense. So let's start off with that thing. What is happening with Ripple today? So I just want to give you a holistic view right now on which countries are absorbing. This is a list of institutions that are adopting XRP. Let's look at the banks. We got SBI Holdings, Japan, okay? This is one of the financial partners. We got UAE. We got the Bank of Fujura, UAE, Bank of Japan, USA, PNC Financial Services. These guys have ATMs all over there from Pennsylvania, PNC Financial Services. Then we've got American Express. Some of you are aware of American Express. Some of you have American Express. But did you know they partnered with the Ripple for faster cross-border payments? Okay. Standard Chartered, UK. Then we got Santander, UK and Spain. You probably see this on footballers' t-shirts, etc. Australia, are you in the house? I bet you didn't know this, right? Commonwealth Bank of Australia, they were experimenting with Ripple blockchain. Okay, this is what date, guys? 2025, right? And what did they say in 2025? That Australia was experimenting. Well, this is March 2026. Ripple to acquire Australian financial services license as APAC payments volume doubles. Australia, you are officially, your government is officially in the space. As you can see, Ripple announced on Wednesday to secure an Australian financial service license through the proposed acquisition of BC Payments Australia Pty Limited. So if you're in Australia, Australia is a key market for Ripple. This type of information is either supposed to make you scared or excite you. So to my Australian friends on this call, how does that make you feel? Put in the chat that your government is now, basically your whole banking system is now applying for a Ripple license. They are partnering with Ripple. And yet when you walk into your banks, they do not even tell you, hey, one Ripple is $1.09. In New Zealand dollars, please help me out, guys. Please type in New Zealand dollars or Australian dollars, what's equivalent to the US 109. Exciting. All right, it's happening here, Kitty, Australia. Exactly. And this is the reason why you need your friends and family here, is because this is happening under their noses. There's a shift that's happening, right? Because they can position themselves right now, but nobody knows this. Did it make news in Australia? Did it make news? Did it come? Did you guys see it on TV or newspapers? No. These guys are making moves behind the scenes, very, very quiet. Now, why is that? It is done like that in that way because if you wake up the Australian and the New Zealand market, if you wake them up and everybody goes and buys XRP, the price of XRP goes up. This makes it expensive for your government and for those banks to buy XRP. So what they do is they make these moves. They got to be some transparency, right? But they don't make it obvious to everybody else. So that is why you guys on this call, you are the billboards for what's happening. You guys need to educate your masses and say them, look, this is where government is going, this is where banking is going, and we can position ourselves. So this call is very important because this type of information is not given to you by your financial advisors, nor your bankers, okay? So let's go back. Now, let's look at other countries, right? We stopped at Australia, okay? We got South Korea, we got Saudi Arabia, we got Vietnam, we've got Russia, we've got South Africa, Standard Bank, South Africa. South Africa, there's some big movements that's happening. It's crazy. Let me show you. For those people, you don't think of Africa as, hey, you know what? It's a third world continent or the third world, whatever, however it's perceived to be, okay? Our finance minister, forget about pronouncing his name, is overhauling South Africa's crypto regulation by integrating digital assets into a formal capital flow framework. Guys, they are actually bringing the National Treasury, the problem with the Director of Capital Flow Management. Now, I want you to understand, if a third world country is looking at crypto in this light that they want to add it to the treasury, what does it tell you with the rest of your guys' countries? They're way ahead, ladies and gentlemen. It's just that here in South Africa, we are more oblivious to the fact. We are more, hey, we got to make sure what's happening. We are educating our South Africans. So the same kind of education we bring into New Zealand. So $1.58 in Australia. Thank you, Ronnie, for that. Hey, Ronnie, good to have you on the call. Yeah, okay, cool. So Australia, you guys have, and I think the Australian market they're very content on what they have and what have you. But when you bring them information like this, it's crazy, right? So let's go back. So we stopped in South Africa, but guys, look at the future adoption. Future adoption is Middle East, Latin America, Africa, Southeast Asia. What is the population here, guys? What do you think the price of XRP is going to be in the coming years? Now, Let's look at New Zealand. New Zealand, you guys are doing some big things. Now, a lot of people don't know this. Reserve Bank of New Zealand collaborates with Ripple on CBDC using XRP Ledger. CBDC means Central Banking Digital Currency, right? CBDC. This date here is August 2023. August 2023, guys. How does that make you feel, New Zealand? That your bank, Reserve Bank of New Zealand, this is brought up in 2023. So let's just go here and type in Ripple New Zealand, and you guys can do this. I mean, this is not rocket science what I'm doing here. It's just the Reserve Bank is currently evaluating central bank digital currencies technology with discussions counting on the Ripple XRP Ledger platform. Look at this. Now that you guys got the education part, let's evaluate why you're here. So what I did was, let's round the whole thing up. We are moving from Web 2 to Web 3. I just proved that to you. Your banks are doing it without you knowing. Okay. I showed you the price of one XRP. We're working with the fourth largest crypto, almost $70 billion. The question needs to be in your mind right now is, Shane, before the masses accumulate, how do we accumulate? And ladies and gentlemen, that's the reason why you're on the call. And I'm about to show you the PowerPoint that's going to show exactly why you're here and why we're excited to be here and to share this information with you. Today, I'm going to show you a tool that corporates use, financial institutions use, as well as the banks use. It was designed, it was created by Dr. Jack van Muller in Belgium. The last week, I was with him in Thailand, where we did our mega conference. And this is a real person. I shook his hand, I spoke to him, I had dinner with him. We took the taxis together, we took lives together in Thailand. We spent quality time with corporate. So in the back of your mind, if you're wondering whether this is real, oh, very, very much so. Okay. So let's give you all that information and I'll give you more details on Dr. Jack van Muller. So how does this work? So ZAB basically means XRP AI bot. Okay. That's the abbreviation, XRP AI bot. So I just showed you Bitcoin, which is an asset token. People buy the whole Bitcoin long term, hence asset token. Ethereum is a technology token. It's a layer one blockchain where you create dApps, decentralized finance, NFTs, all of that is done on Ethereum. Then you got XRP, which is a banking token. I just showed you a whole lot of countries and banks that are partnering with XRP. So let's look at XRP, a deep dive. Launched in 2012, used by banks, and there to replace the SWIFT banking system. Yes. Now, do you guys know, let me just mute. So do you guys know what is a SWIFT banking system? Anybody knows what's a SWIFT banking system? Type in Y for yes and type in N for no if you don't know what is a SWIFT banking system. Let's see. Guys, please, let's get the chat going if you know. Okay, so Ronnie knows, Lord knows. Okay, cool. So most of you guys know. I'm not going to cover. Grace doesn't know. Okay, Grace, let me explain to you. A SWIFT banking system is basically when the Federal Reserve, the federal banks were created, they created the SWIFT banking system in 1972. So it is like a giant messaging system that allows the banks to talk to each other. So when you're sending money to China, your bank, whichever country you're in, has to talk to the Chinese bank. So they use the SWIFT system to do that. Okay, so that is why when you're sending money abroad, you have to put in something called a SWIFT code. Okay, a SWIFT code. They'll ask you, which is your bank SWIFT code. So that allows the banks to talk. Now there's over 200 countries that are part of the SWIFT system and over 11,500 banks and financial systems that are part. Right? So that gives us the opportunity for money to flow, but it's very, very slow. As I said, 2 to 3 business days is very expensive, very confusing because they ask you a whole lot of questions. So XRP was built to replace the SWIFT banking system. Now, why it's happening faster than usual is because the SWIFT system has been weaponized. What I mean by that? Certain countries who don't believe in the rules or regulations or certain decisions made by the US, sanctions are put onto those countries. You guys saw what happened to Russia. So when sanctions is imposed on a country, they disable the SWIFT payment system. That means that country cannot communicate financially with the rest of the world. Okay? So we've seen that sanctions, South Africa was sanctioned at once. So you guys understand it's being weaponized. So New Zealand, Australia, Middle East, Central America, Africa are now seeing the pattern and they're saying, hey, if we don't agree to the West and they don't like us for some reason, they can sanction us. So what will happen is this, your banking system cannot communicate to the world. So they're looking for a plan B. They're pivoting. And you guys on this call, you are sitting and watching it happen in real time. You got the front row seats. So whatever you do, this information is very important because the world is transitioning, right? And I just proved it to you, right? This happened in New Zealand in 2023, but still nobody knew about it. So the SWIFT system is old. It needs to be replaced. Everybody understand? Good. Let's move on to that. So this is Brad Garlinghouse. He is the CEO of XRP. And what's important to know is that he sits on the advisory board for the Clarity Bill. So the Clarity Bill is basically a regulatory framework that's been set up for the rest of the financial banks, etc., to be a part of it, right? You guys can go and Google Clarity Bill. You're going to find that very, very interesting. So SWIFT is old, slow, expensive, and confusing, whereas XRP is new, fast, free, and transparent, okay? So here's a question. What happens if XRP takes over just 25% of that SWIFT network? So there's 11,500 institutions. What if we only get 25%? So some of you are probably on the call still saying, but Shane, look, how many banks have already moved across? So let's just type in how many banks are using Ripple. More than 300 financial institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, this is happening right in front of our eyes. I did show you SBI Holdings, Banco. I showed you all of this, right? Now, over more than 300 financial institutions. So we're sitting in a very, very interesting space where more banks are coming across. If 25%, that will leave XRP at a price of $10,000. Now, I'm not sure about you, but I didn't buy Bitcoin at under $2. I didn't buy Ethereum under $2. I didn't buy BNB under $2. But here's your opportunity because XRP is only $1.09 at the moment. So if you don't see this, there's nothing that Denise, Paulette, Jacques, whoever invited you to this call, Gail, can do if you don't see this, okay? Because I proved to you that it's happening. But let's forget about $10,000. What happens if XRP goes to $10? And if we help you on all of this call to get 100,000 XRP, that would make you a dollar millionaire. We're looking at this happening between the next 12 to 24 months. If it just goes to $10, and I just showed you it's starting to pump now. So the question is, how many XRP do you want? How many of you hoped and wished if you had at least one Bitcoin today? Just one Bitcoin. Well, in the next 2 to 3 years, I don't want you to say, I sat on this call, I saw XRP at $1 and I did nothing about it. Okay. So how do we do that? How do we accumulate that? We use this bot. Okay. This is the AI bot. Now, this is the creator of the bot, Dr. Muller. I want to explain to you what is arbitrage trading. If you know what is arbitrage trading, type in Y. If you don't know what's arbitrage trading, type N for no, because I like you guys to have a full understanding of that. Because it's not Forex trading. Okay. Forex trading is very different. Forex trading, you've got to have an entry point where you buy and you put a TP, which is take profit. And as soon as the price reaches that, you profit and you make money. But if it doesn't reach that and it drops down and it hits it's called stop loss. That means you lose money, right? That is trading. And a lot of people, when they hear arbitrage trading, they think it's that. It's not that. Totally, totally different. So most of you guys know what is arbitrage. If you don't know, type it in. If I can only see yeses, I'm going to skip this and move on, right? So everybody knows what is arbitrage. Okay, good. So arbitrage trading is only done by your banking systems, your financial houses, because you need a lot of money to make a very small profit. So the more money you have, the bigger profit you make. So let's just give you a quick explanation of what is arbitrage. Basically, it scans multiple exchanges in real time. It detects the price variation, rapid automated wins only, speed and precision, buy low and sell high. Okay, so basically we use 4 exchanges. I showed you in the beginning, there's over 950 exchanges, but we use the 4 top exchanges. We use Binance, which most of you know. We use Coinbase, we use Kraken, and we use Bitstamp. So what our bot does, very, very simple, okay? Like this bot. It basically scans those 4 exchanges. Now we use quantum computing. We use IBM quantum computing, cloud computing as well. Our data center is in Finland. And I'm pleased to tell you that our data center also handles the data for British Airways, as well as some of the big banks in Europe. Okay, so our data center is like really, really top notch. And Dr. Jack gave us a preview of that. So let me explain to you. So this is your bot. What this bot does, it scans those 4 exchanges. It finds out where there's a price difference. It buys from one exchange and it sells to the other exchange. That's it. And it does like in literally 2 to 3 minutes, maybe 3.5, 4,000 transactions per second. It just scans, buys, sells, buys and sells, buys and sells, and it pays you. Unlike Forex trading. Am I making sense? Good. So that is what's arbitrage. That's what banks do all the time. Okay. Now, Dr. Jack Miller, his background, he is basically a PhD in aeronautical engineering. He programs drones for the military. Very, very brilliant. Very, very brilliant guy. Now, when your bot trades for you, it goes to these exchanges, gives you up to 1% a day. Okay, and it trades for you 6 days a week. The days are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Tuesday, you have to reactivate your bot. Okay, so on Tuesday, you're going to reset your bot because it pays you out. So your bot goes white. You just have to click on the bot, you click submit, and click yes, the bot changes color according to your package, and it's continuously trades for the week. So if you're new here, okay, can you log in on the Tuesday, anytime Tuesday, tap on the bot, click submit, click yes, and it trades for you for the whole week. Who likes the idea of that? That's completely hands-free trading. And this is a smart contract on the blockchain. That means it's not controlled by anybody. It's a set of programs, a set of rules that the bot is given. So you can put your XRP in there. It takes your XRP, it trades for you. So what is your return like? We give you up to 1% a day. We're looking between 15 to 20% per month. We can't give you a specific amount because we don't know what the markets are going to do, right? So it's between 15 to 20% per month. Now, your bot will expire once it gives you a 300% return. 300% return. Let's do a deep dive into that and explain in detail how that works. Okay. So how much it's going to cost you to get the bot? Well, it's going to cost you just 1 XRP, which is the fee. Anybody here can afford a fee of $1.09. Anybody can afford a fee of $1.09. Can you please, if you can't afford that fee $1.09, maybe reach out to the person who invited you to the call. Will probably teach you how to get $1. But that's the fee, guys. Can everybody afford that? Type in Y for yes and type in N for no. That's your fee. Because a lot of people reach out to me and they say, hey, Shane, we see all these fancy bots, but it costs us an arm and a leg. I said, okay, I don't know about other companies, but our fee is just 1 XRP, which is $1.09. So for those of you on the call, don't stress about that. It's only $1.09. However, if you have XRP, a minimum of 10 XRP, you can make it work for you. Now, this is your XRP. This is not going to go to the company. So you can decide how many XRP you want, whether it's 12, 15, 24, 504, 2008. There is no set amount. We just broke it up in these packages, just to give it some, value per se. But you can come in any amount of XRP, 10 being minimum. Don't forget to add your 1 XRP to whichever package you take. So if you go for 500, you make sure you have 501 XRP. Okay? So How much is 11 XRP? In the chat, guys, in your country, New Zealand, can you, or Australia, can you please put in the amount of what's the minimum for you guys to come in with in terms of your bots? If you look at 11 XRP in Australian dollars, how much will it be? Or 11 XRP in New Zealand dollars, how much will it be? Guys, I'm looking at the chat. Please type that in so I could give the correct figures here. I don't want to give the wrong figures to the guys. Look, guys, we're looking at Australia. We're looking at under $18. In New Zealand, we're looking at under $25. I think. Do you guys think that it's affordable in your country now for everybody to get into action before the banks get to them? It is affordable, right? However, we want you to earn 100,000 XRP. So if you come in with 11, that's good. But later on, you can buy another bot. You can have unlimited amount of bots. So as you receive $25 and instead of spending it on frivolous things that you'll never get a shot to earn back again, you get a bot. Okay? Easy to understand. Now, when you come in, this bot will give you a 300% return. 300% return. Okay? So you come in with 10 XRP, it's going to give you 30 XRP. Then you could take that 30 XRP and buy another bot. Now you're getting 90 XRP. So you're compounding. What's the eighth wonder of the world? Compound. So your smart contract is designed, the AI takes this XRP, trades for you in arbitrage, and gives you a return every day. Who likes the idea of that? Okay. Now, you want to know something else? Let's assume you are on 10 XRP, you're going to get 300%. By you sharing this bot with just one of your family members, just one friend's family, if they can afford $25 or $20, now you get 400% return. So the company compensates you because remember, Web3, we do not rely on billboards. Bitcoin didn't have a bank promoting it or billboard or a company. It was all done word of mouth. It was all the programmers talking about blockchain, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. And now it has grown to this massive thing. Web3 do not rely on Web2 marketing. Web2 marketing is your emails, your social media, all of that. Remember I explained to you the beginning, right? Web3 is completely different. Web3 relies on word of mouth marketing. We do not rely on corporate marketing. You need to understand the difference. So for those of you who want access to this bot, you can get in at any amount of XRP, 10 being the minimum. So this is where you're going to get in touch with the person who invited you to the call, and you tell them, hey, where's your link? I need to have this AI. I need to have this tool because beside the XRP, this is the fastest way for you to basically accumulate XRP. Now, let me show you something else. Some of you are saying, Shane, that's all well and good, but how do I get paid? This should excite everybody on the call because MasterCard audited the company, looked at its 5-year projection, and they said, we want to partner with you guys. And they put the XAB, I mean, for MasterCard to print our company logo, they probably did some due diligence, right? So some of you may say, Shane, I want to research the company. No problem. But please, I beg of you, do not go onto Google and research that's Web2. You're not going to find them talking anything in favor of something that's going to replace them. Now, I want to ask you, do you think Zab did more due diligence than you? You're going to use Google. These guys looked at the financial history. They spent time with our corporate over a year before they said, we want to partner with you guys. So every one of you will have access to the MasterCard. What's nice about this MasterCard is that it has, I'm not going to show you the numbers, but it has a CCV number and an expiry date. What does that mean? You guys can do online shopping with it because it has near field technology. You can see that there. That means you can tap and pay for your fuel, for your groceries. It gives you a withdrawal of $2,000 a day. $2,000 a day. It all depends on your ATMs, obviously. So we've got 3 different types of card. We've got the DigiCard, which is the digital card. Then we've got the plastic card, and then we've got the metal gold card. So that's how you actually withdraw. Or you could just click withdraw and send your funds into your Web3 wallet, which is like MetaMask, SafePal, Trust Wallet, any of those wallets, right? So if you don't want to spend, you can withdraw those funds into your Web3 wallet. Am I making sense, guys? Good. Now, I need to show you the next part. Next part is very important. You see, just like Denise, Paulette, Jacques, and all of these guys who invited you to this call, we need to expand our Web3 banking system. Now, I'm not sure about New Zealand and Australia, but when you walk into the bank, they tell you, look, if you put your money with us, we are going to give you X amount of interest for the year, and we'll give you a MasterCard. Okay, but then you're going to pay for every transaction. Yeah, you don't pay for transactions. So what happens? We want to promote this Web3 banking system of Zap. And we're looking for people who say, Shane, I can see the value of this. I can see the future. How do we be a part of this? So the first part where you just want to get the bot and trade, that is good. You guys can do that. You are going to get the link from the person who invited you to the call. You tell them, look, I understand a little bit of what he said. I didn't understand everything. All I know, XRP is here. All I know, our banks are getting involved, and I know it's affordable. I would learn as I go on. Richard Branson said, if somebody offers you an amazing opportunity, and if you're not sure how to do it, say yes, they learn how to do it later. I follow smart people. So this is where you can be passive. You don't need to speak to this. You know, some of you say, oh, but Shane, oh, Denise, you don't understand. I'm a very private person. I don't like showing people where I got my money. It's fine if you are there. It's cool. It's all good. No worries. You take the bot, shoot, and you earn. Sounds good? Now, the next lot of people is we want to partner throughout Australia without the Pacific Asia is help us take this bot out to thousands of people. If you are that person, I want you to listen up very, very closely because the company wants to incentivize you to do that. So how do you get incentivized? Very simple. So when I said to Dr. Jack initially, okay, so I said, what happens if I take this out? He says, you get paid. I said, how? So if my wife used my link and she took maybe a 10 XRP, I made 8% of that. And if she took another bot, maybe in a month's time, I made another 8% of that XRP. So the more bots she took, I made 8% every time. Now, the beauty is I only showed her once. I can't stop her from getting to 100,000 XRP. You cannot stop somebody. If they want to get to 100, they're going to take multiple bots as they get the income, right? Or they take their profit to take another bot. So I couldn't stop her. So I was getting 8% every time. Then she showed my daughter. My daughter signed up under her. My wife made 8% every time. And I made 2% without speaking to my daughter. Okay, because I'm in my office all the time. My daughter is homeschooled. They're doing their things, mother and daughter vibe. So I made 2% from my daughter. Can I stop my wife? My wife was a private banker for one of the biggest banks in South Africa. You think I'm going to stop her from taking this to her clients? And every time she does, I make 2% and I don't even know who those clients are. So ladies and gentlemen, just like a banking structure, you got the Federal Reserve, then you've got your, each bank has their own, I would use the word reserve bank. Like, so we got a South African Reserve Bank, then you get all the other banks, then you got the satellite branches in different areas, then you got ATMs. So you can structure, you are the main federal. You can have satellite branches by showing like-minded people. Remember, you want the people who build this business have the same vision as you. You cannot share big ideas with small-minded people because they just don't get it. And it's fine. They can chill. We want a specific breed of people who says, I understand. I want to meet corporate. I want to travel with you guys. I want to see we launching our own bank in guys, or your own European bank account you will have by, I'm talking about a proper brick and mortar bank in November. We're talking about property tokenization. We're talking about gold arbitrage. XRP does $1 billion a day. Gold does $362 billion a day. So we're going to introduce the same bot which does gold arbitrage for you. Guys, I don't want you to just be fixated and say this is the only thing. We've got a complete roadmap for you. And this is the roadmap. Okay? So this is all for all the visionaries out there, for all those people who say, Denise, Paulette, I get it. I see where this is going. Look, this was supposed to be in March, but because of the war, we moved it to June. This is our Pattaya Bangkok event, which I just attended. This moved to November, where our MasterCard was supposed to be launched in 2027, but we already did it in 2026. We're way ahead. So this is happening in November. Our travel app is in March. Property tokenization is going to be coming up in September. Okay, I'll talk to you about property tokenization. So this is our roadmap. So we want visionaries to join us. We want people who really understand, hey, this is where the world is going. So let's assume, let's start off here. Remember, I told you when you show anybody this year, you get 8%. And every time they take a bot, you make 8%. So level 2, we get 2%. Level 3 to 6, we get 1%. Level 7 to 20, we get 0.5%. Around these levels, you probably have about 500,000 people in your business. Very, very big. So this is quite interesting. As soon as you come to 500 XRP, right? When you have your own personal package, if you started at 10 and you get to 500, you get paid unlimited levels deep. Let me make that clear. Let me write it here. UNLI, unlimited levels. You can have somebody who share this with somebody from Russia and come into 10,000 XRP. You don't even know where they are. You don't even know their name. It adds to your team volume. Okay, so you have 1,000 team volume. Remember, we'll go this in detail during the training. So if you're interested in the business, we will do this in training. I'm just going to cast vision here. Let's just say it took me 80 days to get here. Just 80 days. I got started in January, mid-January. So I claimed 10%. I had about 45,000 volume, 45,000. So I made 4,500 XRP. Okay, 10% of that, 4,500. Now I claimed from Sapphire, hit Sapphire 2 weeks ago, this was 85,000. So I claimed another 8,500 XRP. So once you claim this and your volume builds again, how your volume builds, either people are opening up new branches or satellite branches, and I'm talking like franchises, they're going out and sharing, or people are just reactivating new bots. That all adds to your volume. So you can do this multiple times. I can claim again Sapphire. You can claim this all the time. As soon as you hit, or you could let it accumulate to Diamond, Black Diamond, Crown Diamond. Am I making sense, guys? So this is where the money is at if you want to build. Now, what I want to do is I want to just show you some quick videos. Okay, I just want to go to desktop. So this is the CFO, Rizwan Khan. This is the head of the IT, Faisal. These guys own skyscrapers in Dubai, guys. That's me with the easy pay. These guys who actually did the card for us. These are all the leaders from all the world. Asia is killing it, guys. That is Dr. Jack here. There is our CFO here. This was our training. There's Dr. Jack here again. There's our CEO and co-founders. That's 2 million XRP. So everything we see here can be verified. Every single thing can be verified on the blockchain. So this is the launch of our gold arbitrage. Automobile industry. Our gold arbitrage, which will be launched on Monday as well. So you guys can have XRP arbitrage and gold arbitrage at the same time, you know, making you some decent money. So that's a wrap from me. For those of you who are in, I want you to go to the chat and type I'm in. For those of you who want to build a business as well, you're going to get in touch with the person that says, look, hold my hand, take me through this process. I want to understand. So you also be on our calls with the CEO, Dr. Jack Van Miller, on a Sunday where you get to see this trading live. You get to see this arbitrage working live while he's on the call. Guys, you haven't seen anything like this. A lot of companies offer you, and believe you me, You can ask Lonnie's on this call as well. We looked at certain companies that showed the trading but could not show us the source of the income. So they can show us the trade, but they're not showing us, okay, what's your balance looking like? We can show, they show you the balance for the trade is $55 million on $55 million worth of XRP is in this arbitrage. Things like that is not shown to public, but we're building a very close network. That is why I'm saying if you want to build a business, we're looking for a special kind of person who can understand big numbers. We're looking for the special kind of person who's not brainwashed by the banking system to say, hey, 5% for the year, 7% for the year is a lot. Web3 is a different ballgame altogether. I just showed you in 1 hour, 116 billion came into the space. So for you to understand the amount of monies to make here, you've got to be at a different mindset altogether. And I'm sorry to say this, but our schooling, our banking system, our bosses has programmed us to make us believe that we only can earn X amount. So we need people like you to shift that narrative, to show people, hey, there's an opportunity where the banks are already in, but they're not telling you about. So for those of you who are in, please type in, I'm in. Those of you who are out and says, this is not for me, I wish you everything of the best, because I can tell you what, your bank is going to eventually get to your friends and family. Your bank is going to eventually get to your friends and family and offer them, sorry about that, and offer them, deals on XRP. Because right now, if you're swiping your American Express card, you are paying that fee. You are paying the fee, but they're paying the XRP, which is like 0.01 cents. They're making money from you from those fees. So we are taking you to the shortcut to send money cross-border. So guys, thank you so much for making time for being on this call. I really do appreciate. We've got, it's already 1 hour past, but if you guys got some Q&A, let's do, for those of you who have to leave, I understand. You can exit the call. But for those of you who have some questions for me, perhaps you want to, ask me some questions, you're welcome to type it in. Or if you want, raise your hand. I'll unmute you, and we can do a quick Q&A if you'd like. You're welcome, Grace. So we've got, let's see who's in here. Skylar, I appreciate you, Jesse, for getting our bums in the awesome. I like that, Skylar. See, guys, those are the comments that make me laugh, because you know what? Let me explain something, right? I gotta say that people who put the most bums on seats make the most amount of money. Jacques, you're smiling. You know that saying, right? You put the most bums on seats, you make the most amount of money. And Skylar, your comment just bust me up. So Ronnie, my man, how you doing? I'm in for Nisiswa. Who invited you for Nisiswa? You get in touch with them, get the link, and get started. If you guys are looking at how to get XRP, the person who invited you here will hold your hand through the process. Don't overthink it, because we already paved the way. We've got a process in place. So Ronnie says, I mean, Cesar says in, Lon is in, Michelle is in, Lily is in, Gail says, thank you, Shane D. Okay, cool. Gail says, not yet. I'm not sure. Grace, sorry. Not yet. No problem, Grace. You get back whenever you are ready. We're here to hold your hand through this process. Charles says, thank you for great call. You're welcome, guys. So let's do this on from Monday. We started the New Zealand call. We also going to do Vortex as well. So Vortex AI is basically the gold side of this. So you can, if you're making money, when you make money from ZAB, you can buy the gold arbitrage. When you make money from gold arbitrage, you buy the ZAB. So you got two levels of income coming together. The ZAB pays you in XRP, the gold pays you in USD. So your ZAB is the one that you accumulate for long term. For all the business builders, you want to hold on, because I know you've got bills to pay and all of that. So why use your XRP when the price is going up? That's where the gold comes in. So the gold income is to run your daily expenses. So we got a plan for all of you guys. So Jacques invited me. For Deciso, Jacques. Okay, there you go, Jacques. So for Deciso, you get a hold of Jacques and he'll sort you out. Okay, there's go. Stella asked me a question. She says, I'm not sure. Stella's got a Chuck their profile. Stella, are you a transformer? How long before the bot matures? So, Stella, we're looking at around 15 to 20% per month. Based on that math, we're looking about 5 to 6 months for you to get your ROI. That means your initial out. Okay. So between 5 or 6 months, it all depends on how the market does. Because once you make 100%, that means you've got your capital out, right? Then the other 200% is basic. And remember, if you bring in one more person, that means 400%, which means you're making 300% profit. So go sign on maybe your neighbor, maybe your aunt, uncle, whoever for 10 XRP. Now you're getting 400%. Okay. So that's crazy. So just put one person in and you get 400%. So if you don't want to share it, that's fine. 300% will be. So if you're looking at your ROI, we're looking at 5 to 6 months, but it can be sooner. It all depends. If XRP goes up very quickly, that means you're getting your $21 or $70 out quicker, right? Yeah. So it all works with the price of XRP at that moment. Common question, is my XRP safe with ZAP, Lon? That is a great question, Lon, because what you have here is a smart contract. So when when you put it into the system, your XRP is entered into a smart contract where the AI takes over. Now, the ZAB income is only 55 million. We're looking at gold that's going to be way more. Now, the owners themselves, to back test this has been tested from 2019, put in $20 million of their own funds are in here. $20 million of their own funds. Now, this is a smart contract, which means the CEO or the CFO cannot enter the smart contract and pull out funds. The withdrawal, when you click withdrawal, it's a program that actually pays you. It's not somebody sitting there deciding when to pay you and clicking the pay button. Okay. Everything is automated here on the blockchain. So let's just say common is my XRP safe with ZAB. Now let's just say you get your first 100% and you feel, I'm not too happy. You can move it to MasterCard or EasyPay. So now the question is MasterCard safe? Am I right in what I'm saying, Lord? Is MasterCard safe? I don't know. The whole world, over 200 countries use MasterCards. Has MasterCard been hacked? No. Okay. Then to answer your question, okay, I'm in ZAB, but now they got a European bank. Can we use the bank? Then we're listing our IPO, our own IPO, where you can buy shares within the company. So we're talking about a lot of wealthy people. That is Rehan Gohar, Dr. Jack Van Miller. These guys collect $1.5 million to $2 million watches. That's their hobby. So when you talk about, that's how this whole thing came about. Then when you talk about being safe, this product was not meant for you and I to go out network marketing. We've got banks, we've got financial houses that's using ZAB at the moment, it's using the arbitrage. So I've seen all of that, and I can tell you that your funds are secure. The only time this whole thing will collapse if the internet shuts down. But if the internet shuts down, that means your whole banking system shuts down. So yeah, not pretty safe, bro. And this is why I also say that, because MasterCard, as I said, did due diligence on this company with the 5-year projections and all of that. I saw the paperwork. It was and they kept on moving. Okay, we need this information. We need this information. They kept on until they were entirely satisfied. That's when they actually partnered with us. So the next question is, okay, Stella answered that question. Lorna answered that question. Denise says, great call. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you, my sister, little brother, showing up on this call from Sydney. Hey, sister, sister-in-law and brother, sister-in-law and brother. You know what? I think to spend under $25 on Paulette, you're gonna thank her. Leave alone taking a loan from the bank. You test the system yourself for a week or so. Come back to her, and then you will be pleasantly surprised. Okay, so yeah, let's see, female here, Shane, not Stella. I was only kidding, but I love that big rig. If you are from New Zealand and Australia, I follow those. They call them trains, right? Where they go cross country. I watched this Australian documentary where they take these trains with these trailers, and there's one guy, I can't remember. He goes into places with. Oh man, it's crazy. So I love those big rigs. I'm sure it's a Kenworth or something. So guys, thank you so much for making time for being on the call. Remember, from Monday, DMA or myself will do these calls. We're looking at certain days during the week. Maybe you guys can say, hey, Shane, I think Wednesday is a good day. It's midweek. Or Mondays. Mondays as well is a good day because I'll tell you why. Most people have heart attacks on a Monday. Why? Because it's the weekend and they go back to work and the pressure from the bosses. I'm not even kidding you with this information, guys. Most people have heart attacks on a Monday because of the pressure from the bosses. So imagine now they have a tough day at work and they're, oh my God, I can't take this anymore. I need to look for another job. Then you get an invite from Denise or Paulette or Jacques and saying, hey, you know what, you need to look at this. So Monday is a good day because a lot of people are sick and tired of being sick and tired. So maybe guys can say, me, Shane, let's do 2 calls for New Zealand because you guys are busy, right? Maybe you do a Monday call and a Wednesday call. It all depends on your on the amount of guests that you're going to have. So instead of having so many calls during the week where you guys have to meet every call, you guys can actually invite for this couple of days and everybody invite for the weekend for the Monday call. So I do this on the 10 a.m. South African time, 8 p.m. New Zealand time on a Monday. I don't know what you guys think about that, whether I'm making sense. So Mary says, I was hooked as soon as Paulette shared the information about previous that you did. Mary, it's our pleasure. You know, Samoa, you look at Samoa as well, that's Fiji Islands. We're looking at going into the spaces because people are suffering out there, guys. People cannot make it anymore. The banks are running amok with the guy, you know, giving them such small interest and yet they're making billions at the end. It's really, really.